So I'm back in the project and I want to implement these methods so that we can see how our application behaves. And I only got one stateful component, the app.js file. This is nice, but to really see how also child components get re-rendered, I also want to turn some of them into stateful components so that we can implement these lifecycle methods. Because that's an important takeaway. If you need access to a lifecycle method, you need to have a stateful component, so a component created with class and by extending component. You can't do this for functional components. So for the sake of this, I'll turn persons and person into stateful components. I will quickly do this for both, and it's super easy to do. In the persons.js file, we now no longer have a const persons, we have a class, and there the convention is to give this the component name, but starting with a capital character already. Now this class should extend with the extends keyword component, which we now need to import as a named import from React component, like this. Now a class then has a class body, and in there we will have this render method, which we just saw on the diagram and which we also saw earlier. In there we now want to return some JSX, so our list, and as you learned, props isn't available here. We'll have this props. So wherever you use props, it should be this props now. With that, I can remove the code down there and simply export persons with a capital P. With that, let's quickly save this and let's see if our application still works. Make sure npm start is still running, and this looks good. So now we turned our stateless component into a stateful component. Let's do the same for the person component. There we create a class, name it person with a capital P, extend component, which we then need to import as a named import from React, define a body for this class and add a render method to it, and in there simply return the JSX like this, and make sure to adjust the default export to use a capital P. And as before, props doesn't exist. This should be this props. Now we adjusted this too. And here, there are two more. Now with that all props are exchanged. With that, let's implement lifecycle hooks in the next lecture.